for the experience that we had to go through for the prophet to be sent to us. We cried in English, not Arabic, not Spanish, not Hebrew, not Latin, not Medunetter. We cried out to Allah in English, and Allah heard us. And He sent us the Prophet Noble Jew Ali. That right there is a blessing. And that truly shows the diversity of Allah that we know about. Camel, can you cut that off?
I was about to say.
To truly understand that Allah is all God and know that Allah is everywhere and speak all languages. And yeah, we did found Latin, but we founded the language family tree. First time a people ever uttered a sound, it was us. So nobody can tell me what language is supposed to be mine. And if Prophet Muhammad was speaking Arabic before he was considered a prophet, how is that the Islamic language? Just think about it. So we give honors to all those with true intellect, true insight, true divine wisdom that comes from Allah who understand the truth. And the truth is, we honor our Prophet Noble Jew Ali and the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. See how he suited up, ready for war? Controlling the legions, and he controlled legions. Every African country give honors to him, right? So he controlled the legions. And so we honor him. Because now it's time for those African tribes to mount up and unite. We lost a great man this week, right? It's a blessing to those who understand what that great man is great for. To be young and gather the youth. That's why that was my tribute to Mandela tonight in asking the youth to come up.
Islam.
As a youth, he did what he was supposed to do. So much so that he was jailed for how many years?
27 years.
That's older than some of us are living, right? And he was able to gather the youth and make them rebel against what is wrong. Can y'all handle that? The youth must be taught exactly what they need to be taught so that they can know how to honestly do civil disobedience and preserve the lives of those who are intelligent enough to when they get what they want, they can run something. So we give honors to Brother Nelson Mandela and his family, and we send out our condolences to them because we know the truth. We know that without revolutionaries, the revolution dies. And this is the Moorish Divine and National Movement. The movement is revolution. The prophet couldn't put it like that. Because in America, that word is very, very controversial, right? So we call it the Divine and National Movement. Any national movement is considered revolutionary anywhere else across the country or across the world. So we got to give honors where honors is due. They killed Malcolm. They killed Martin. They killed our prophet. They exiled Garvey. And we can honestly say they killed him because they said he was dead, and because him reading that he was dead, he died.
Right. Islam.
So they psychologically did him in as well. But Allah allowed this one man to live throughout that whole struggle and be an image for us to see for our lifetime. And see that for Barack Obama, it was a Nelson Mandela.
Islam.
And so we have to truly be aware of our global plight. Everybody uses the African American struggle, and we'll call it that for conversation purposes. The African American struggle here as an example on how to mobilize their people all across the world. The only ones that's not doing it is us. We forgot it. Most of us haven't read anything from the 60s and 70s. So we don't know how to actually work together to mobilize and do what's needed to be done. But the time has come. So we give honors to all of those who have fought and died and continue to live in the struggle, with the struggle, and struggle. to have a change and bring about an understanding of human rights, because we are humans, right? We're not dogs, we're not Negroes, we're not beasts. We are civilized people that have civilized every people.
Islam.
So we must acknowledge that that's what we are. Since we're the founders of civilization, and we have this ancient Moorish flag, red flag with the 5-pointed green star to prove it. Then we have this Star-Spangled Banner, which the Prophet Noble Jali called the American flag, to prove that we civilized them here. Like I said last week, if you didn't have brothers and sisters doing the work and taking care of their children, they would have died and ran back to Europe. So it was us who sustained this great republic. And it is great only because we remain to be here. So acknowledge your own wealth, your own understanding, and your own industriousness, and continue to do more. Because Allah has some great plan. In the 100th year of the Moorish Science Temple of America's existence, Allah called home the one brother that had mobilized more of us than anybody else. And now South Africa, the Europeans in South Africa are very frightful because he also held back Winnie's fury. We always talk about the wrath of Allah and where the wrath of Allah comes from, right? And I explain it to Moors all the time. It's the woman. Nelson Mandela calmed Winnie down because Winnie was about to destroy the whole country and get everybody that's European up out of there. And that force is still there. So certain things are going to take place, not in the way that it did before, but in the way that it needs to be to bring about a different change. Because the people across the world are tired of European colonization.
Islam. Say that again.
People across the world are tired of European colonization. They're sick of it. They will rebel, and I say this quite often that Moors really pay attention. Unless we get heaven on earth, we will raise hell.
Islam.
And every time we don't get the heaven that we seek, we set everything ablaze, right? You know about it here in Los Angeles. We always kicking it off in this country, right? I'm not trying to incite a riot. It's not my intention. My intention is to incite an uprising. It's a difference. The Prophet said that he is to uplift fallen humanity. An uprising are people rising up to a cause that is beneficial for the rest of the people. A riot is just there to bring down the establishment without anything to replace the establishment that is there. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali established the Moorish Science Temple of America to be able to put in place another form or another instruction, as he gave us, to replace that instruction that we have been given. That's why he says, out from our Sunday school come the guiders of the nation. So, Moors, beware. Beware of the tricks of the trade of the European psychologists. They're going to be using everything they can to rally our people to a cause of causing riots. We give honors to the brothers for when, you know, what was it, Oscar Grant, as well as, what's the other young brother? Trayvon Martin. They keep using these things, these ritual killings, to incite us to cause riots so that they can implement martial law. Pay attention. Like the Honorable Marcus McGarvey, Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey spoke about. We can't be roused up for somebody else's causes.
Islam.
And they have their own cause and their own agenda in getting us riled up. That's why you see the communists and all these other funny people in the community that don't look like us want us to rally around their agenda. We're not going for it. But we are going to economically uprise. Moors need to understand what happened in the 60s and how boycotts were used in the 50s to get what they wanted in the 60s so that they can have a cultural revolution. The cultural revolution is upon us. Moors continue to buy what the European has for us, then we continue to enslave ourselves. If Moors don't wake up, and start producing what they can produce by their own hands, from their own resources, get connected with your family across the country, and gather up all that land that's sitting around the South, and produce some goods. Because the rest of the world is waiting on us. They chant Mandela right now. Mandela is a South African version of Mandy. And so, we know who the Mandinka are. And we know where we come from. The only people that can act like Brother Nelson Mandela are us. We provided the example through Garvey for every other African national on the continent to know how to use that civil disobedience and political, as they call, unrest. Come on. Yeah, see, them all gonna be marching. I'm ready to march like Shaka. See, you know. It's all for them. We cannot any longer sit by and watch our people die, watch our people starve to death, watch our people be treated as slaves, and because we know, we think we have something and we're better than. As long as they're not recognized, neither are we. I give honors to the young people who spoke tonight. I'm not too much younger than me, I'm younger too. I give y'all honors though because it shows that we're not just sitting up here speaking. Y'all not listening. Y'all listen, y'all take the information that we give y'all, y'all go home and y'all study, y'all internalize it to be able to now regurgitate it back up to us. And that's an honor to me. I consider it honorable. I know the Prophet is happy because he sees another generation that is able to perpetuate this movement further, as far as it can go. But we have to become true revolutionaries. We don't need no tanks. We don't need no rocket launchers. We need intelligence. You can have a bunch of idiots with tanks and rocket launchers and they lose. Look what happened to the Russians in Afghanistan.
Islam.
Look what happened to the United States in Korea and Vietnam. Look what happened to them. Look what happened to them right now in Afghanistan. You can have all the technology you want, and your aim will be off, and you'll kill innocent people. So we need the intelligence, which produces a precision in our delivery, so we can gain the desired result. Because the world is waiting on us, and they cannot wait anymore. Moors have to use that Asiatic covenant and branch out and remember that bond, that tie that we have with each other, that makes us love each other and unite. If we don't unite here, Africa gonna continue to fight for who they want to be president. For all their little countries that the European is set up for them, right? The European has set them up all kind of countries just so they can fight each other, and then they finance the revolution. The revolutions in that country are, you know, the coups. As soon as their political agenda is not being met, they plan a coup up to remove that person who they put into place. We're not having it anymore. Moors have connected across the ocean, both east, south, and quite shockingly, in Northern Europe. We have connected with people in the West. China loves us. So, people are like, well, China is in the East, not if you leave from California. All of these people are waiting on us to take the United States and do what is supposed to be done with it according to its mission statement. And we the only ones who understand the mission statement because we wrote the mission statement.
Islam.
The United States of America belongs to us. That's why the Prophet Noble Jawadi put it on our nationality card.
Islam.
It doesn't belong to the Europeans. That's why he said they're 3,000 miles away from home and they're going to have to take war. I mean, they got to get back up out of here. And they have to do it now. It's been 100 years. They're preparing. They're setting up, building new schools, building new roads, making sure Europe is prestige and good. You can take your prestige and go to your pristine neighborhoods and get up out of here so that we can actually have our own country. This is ours.
Islam.
And we're making quite a lot of noise for the world to hear us. Like Brother Ibrahim Bey said, the nation of Moorish Americans will rise from California. And it starts right here. I give honors to, the Grand Sheikh who brought me into the Moorish Science Temple of America, Brother Lane Neal. Because he used to say, this is the flagship. He wasn't necessarily talking about the building. He was talking about the young Moors he was looking at as he stood on the podium. Understand that now. And more so, the location from which we all come from, California. California is the caliphate of the Islamic Empire. Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world.
Islam.
But Islam is also the most misunderstood religion ever put into existence. Because we have a lot of people of Arab descent who try to tell us what Islam is when we're the ones who established peace in the first place. We were the Melchizedek who ordained Abraham.
Islam.
That was us.
Islam.
That was us. Abraham paid tithes. Say more.
Jesus talked about 10th of all his earnings.
See that? That's how you know Moors know something. That more right there says, I want my taxes. That's pretty much what he's saying when he's saying that. I need my taxes. I need 1/10 of that. And that's just because you do the work. But we all know for 400 years we did the work.
Islam.
So you want everything that we work for and 1/10 of your profit. That's what we want as a people. That's what the Prophet allowed to be put in the paper when he said demanding hours. We want everything that we work for. When they did the math, it's $700 billion. 700 billion. I'm not mistaken. Was it trillion? It was trillion. Okay, 700 trillion. Yeah, that's right. It overdid the national debt. $700 trillion plus 10% of everything you make. And then we'll leave you alone and let you go in peace. People say, this man must be crazy. What army do you have, the angels? That's why the young sister, she demonstrated and talked about, the first 4 demonstrations that the Prophet put in our book that is called on. Because we have that as Lord of the Planet, things made manifest. That's our ability to call on these eters to destroy anything in our way. A solar flare will knock out every single last bit of their technology in one solar flare.
Islam.
All we got to do is call on the sun. Do you have the spirit?
Islam.
One solar flare. One.
Excuse me. Thank you.
So, all we have to do is put ourselves back in tune with nature. Get back into remember brother told me we got to put our hands in the ground. We'll be scared to put our hands in the ground. You got brothers scared to get their nails dirty. We heard the comedian last week, right? Talking about the one comedian, what's it, Brother Scrancho? Talking about the men getting their hands and feet done. Somebody separating their nails to cotton balls, right?
Oh my goodness.
Brothers don't want to get their hands dirty, their feet. They scared to go walk on the sand, on the dirt. Mother Nature, usually sisters, they cool. They have fresh nails, fresh toenails, and still go walk in the sand, go walk in the dirt, the grass. Brothers be acting like they got a problem. And so we're not producing what the earth produces. We're not able to manufacture what the earth produces. It's not good. So we have to get back to nature. We have to go back to Africa in mind and in body. We must take the technology that we have created here for the benefit of these Europeans here in this country and take it back to our continent. Garvey said, no people should give up a continent for an island. No people should give up a country or a continent. I say that because a lot of us leave the United States of America and go home to Africa and don't know nothing about Africa. But you know all about here. You know how to farm here. You know the climate here. You know the Mississippi here, which you know that's the boat they took the brother. They took them from north to the south on the Mississippi. Signs and symbols. But the prophet tells us we was up and down the Mississippi.
Islam.
It was us. And so in ritualistic, they take us back up and down the Mississippi, giving honors to our ancestors to perpetuate their succession.
Wow.
They constantly do certain things in ritualistic, remembering us, so that they can perpetuate their own succession. Because we don't remember us. We scared to remember our ancestors. We scared to pray like our ancestors. We scared to meditate like our ancestors, to chant like our ancestors, to think like our ancestors, to create what our ancestors created. So the future lies within being able to do what we did before. You mighty men and women. If we are the masterminds that created the pyramids and the flying spaceships that they say hover over the pyramids, then we should be able to do great things now. NASA wasn't the first people to make a spaceship. We made one to get here. That's how we got to Earth. We're not from here. People think we from Earth. We're not from Earth. That might scare some people. Read chapter 1. She just read it. We're not from Earth. We came here. The murky ethers of gravitational pull pulled us in. And some of us are too unintelligent to get off. We won't break the gravitational pull. But it can be done. All we have to do is know thyself. And use that jet propulsion of will to leave this place and take civilization with us. And that's what they're so scared. That's why people say, well, why haven't they just killed us off if they're scared of us like that? The earth would explode. It'd get too hot because the numbing people are not here to absorb some of the heat that's on.
Islam.
That's a known fact.
It's dope.
So when we say more science, it's deeper than just reading books. It's an intellect, it's wisdom. So I said intellect. It's a wisdom and intellect that is within you that they cannot break the DNA code for. That's what they're scared of. They even trying to. Trying to get it through the systems. It don't work. It don't work. Brothers try to give it to the Europeans by mating with them. It don't work. So what we gonna do now? We've already united here in this building. But the object of the Moorish Science Temple of America is to exist as a temple without a building. The prophet stood on milk crates and caused the people with buildings to want him to come into their building, their houses, their storefronts, their barbershops. Claude Green said, come in here, Unity Hall, you can use this form. A lot of times it's for us to be encaged and entrapped. Once he got us in there, what happened? Tried to take over the movement, right? So that's why the prophet put on us that Asiatic covenant, because we are to branch out in the world. Moors are to be taught here and go out and be able to produce what y'all spoke on the podium to a whole other congregation. It don't take years. You shouldn't be, I'm going to be honest with you, there's no way in the world a Moorish American should be in the same temple for 10 years. People say, what you mean? Because there's a need for a temple in every township, let alone city. At least have a study group in every township. Let the city have a temple. And for us to try to just hold each other together just so I can get your money, that's ridiculous. But that's what people have been doing because they want the money. I need you, and it's not a whole bunch of money. I'm being honest. But if you get enough people that will donate their retirement and all this other stuff, you acquire land, houses, and everything And you'll live good while your new congregation and new generation is, come to you like you got it. I'm not having it. 3 years of being around me, honestly, my intention is for you to go do something else. That's my intention. Because the movement must be expanded. The movement must expand throughout the country, starting with this city. And the examples that are being taught in this city will be the examples that will be taught across the country. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, Chicago shall be your Mecca.
Islam.
Praise Allah. California shall be your Medina.
Islam.
Prophet Muhammad lived in Medina. Prophet Muhammad made his pilgrimage to Mecca and came back to Medina. The greatest schools on Islam came out of Medina. The Caliphate came out of Medina.
Islam.
So we the Caliphate. This is Medina. And our objective is to teach the prophets. Teach the teachings of the prophets. And if the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, imitate I the prophet, he didn't say imitate I Noble Drew Ali, then what is he telling you to imitate?
Islam.
Prophethood.
Islam.
Now we can't go running around talking about we all prophets. But we can say we imitate the prophet to the best of our ability. And prophesize to the four winds and to the sun. So that we can bring about a desired change immediately. And stop being scared. We from LA. We need to gang bang on the ethers. Why you think we raise our hands up like, hey? Ain't that how we do it? We raise our hands up like, hey. Gang bangers throw their hands up too. They throwing up gang signs. We throw up ours too. Islam, right? That's the demonstration, right? That's how we get. A desired effect that we want. We call it the Grand Helen sign. Before the Masons existed. Or should I say the Freemasons. So we the Masons. We let them free to do Masonry. So that's why they call themselves Freemasons. So, Moors, be happy. Celebrate life and understand death. Because we all have been given life and we all shall face death. Make sure you have religion so that you have a happy one. Know what your religion is for. Prophet Noble Drew Ali didn't teach us the religion is for nothing else but to have a happy death. Science is for a happy life. That's why he gave you more science. He told you black according to science means death. And our people call themselves black, right? So y'all want y'all, and the Sheikh is, she's always correcting me. She says not 700 trillion, 777 trillion. That's the math. It wasn't something we made up. Oh, Moorish is always with the 7. No, some brothers did the math. It's a little documentary. It's a great documentary called 500 Nations, put together by Malofi Ashanti's son. I can't recall his name at this time. But on this documentary, it explains how much money they owe us. Do you want your finances? Yeah. Y'all don't want it? Yeah, it's there. Gold and silver has been put up all over the world. That's why everybody using paper currency. The gold and silver, the diamond. You got diamonds. You got more diamonds in buildings stored up like coffee beans. I'm being honest. Stored up like coffee beans, and you have in the earth right now. They're being stored. They give us the unclear ones, or the ones that appear to be clear, but you don't see them in the store. The only people get to see them is those who have over $300 million. But we think we be bling bling. You got diamonds as big as my head, just sitting up waiting for us to go get it. Gold bars as pure as the original gold when they first put it off the earth. Rubies. All this stuff belongs to us. It's your planet. But are you going to put it on and wear it? Or are you going to use it in technology to produce a better earth? Because we know diamonds are used in all kind of like ray guns and And I say ray guns. People say, what you mean? You know, just ray. No, I mean ray guns. Lasers.
Islam.
Giving y'all clues. You know, the gold is used in what? All telecommunications?
Islam.
See? And they call gold Nubia or Nubia. So we know we invented the first spaceship then, right?